Man, I say, whoa now, y'all. It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video reporting live from the Bamboozled Again News Network. Just put a crucial leg workout together. Ooh wee! And I was gonna drop a video about something totally different. But again, on the Bamboozled Again News Network, I try to help the viewer understand certain concepts that maybe others have known for years, but I just come into the light of it. And then, like Meek Mill, it's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? But I was just thinking about life, as I'm doing my squats or whatever. And I'm just thinking about, especially how manhood, masculinity there's an agenda. We all know this, to attack manhood or to reframe manhood in a more conducive way that will go along with the agenda and where they're trying to steer the world. And I never understood or come to the epiphany of how that fits into the overall satanic agenda. You know what I mean? Because as they say, the famous quote, evil only prevails when good men do nothing. And then lately, like I always like gladiator, Spartan type movies, the greatest honor was to die on the sand or unalive rather, whatever. And I'm thinking how we've just kind of in this modern culture of convenience and leisure and false liberty, how it's kind of taken that kind of mechanism, at least psychologically, out of the average man. Coupled with the fact, the food's all jacked up. You know what I'm saying? Uh, like I know soy kind of makes you more feminine to a degree. It may make you more prone to operate in emotion, so on and so forth. Like the disposition of this generation, and I speak for myself as well, isn't necessarily the same as our grandfathers. I think they lived a harder life, worked harder, played harder, but the food wasn't as jacked up. They still had strong family units at that time that they could, fall back on or be connected to. We don't really have that. But along the lines of that thinking, I was just thinking how, or the necessity for a man to understand leverage. My partner Hundo, shout out to him, early on in my journey, I don't think he said it in these exact words, but he was talking about how you should view yourself as a business. Not even in the sense of making money, but from the standpoint of typically if you're a business, you yourself, the individual person, you typically don't take on things that could potentially be a liability. And if it could potentially be a liability, it's because when you weigh it up on the scale, the potential of benefit warrants taking a calculated risk on the probability of the liability. And then I move forward into understanding, just in thinking, even back then, my pursuit of leverage. And when I say that, when I mean leverage, typically as a man, you get treated any kind of way if you ain't got no leverage. Say if you move in with a woman, if you don't have no leverage, as in the ability to have your own space, your own motion, she gonna treat you any kind of way, no matter how you treat her, because she knows you need her. These jobs, they perceive, even if it's not the case, which in reality, it's the other way around. Again, here comes the inversion. These corporations and companies need workers, but they've actually flipped it to making you think you need them. And because you need them, you don't get the proper pay. You don't get the proper time off. They heap more responsibility on you. They string you along with a promotion. They dangle the carrot in front of you. You know what I mean? So my leverage, me, myself, actually lies in the power of walking away, or the reputation that I built. Because I ain't doing a whole bunch of talking back and forth. Um, I'll do it. These aren't idle threats. Walk away and don't second guess it. Now, we'll review, I guess anytime you make any decision, you're going to review it, for the data of, the potential of a similar situation in the future. And you just analyze the data. But once I'm gone, I'm gone. All that standing around and trying to get people to comprehend. You know how they say communication is the key? I would beg to differ. I think comprehension is. And in today's culture, a lot of times because of the narcissistic tendencies or the superficiality that permeates society, people ain't really trying to understand where you're coming from. They just want you to do, for the most part, They want you to do what they want you to do. They want the max benefit out of you while simultaneously giving the least. Relationships, friendships, jobs, most interpersonal situations in society, outside of you, just gravitating to like-minded individuals or just an organic thing that just pops up haphazardly. That's the game everybody playing. Now, one of my favorite mottos, if I don't like the game or the rules of the game, I don't play. And then when I made a casual conversation, start alluding to, because if you let anybody talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. They won't believe you till they see you do it. And then when they see you do it, they're blown away because here it is, you're the one person who was actually about what they said they were about. They actually did what they said they was going to do. And let's say hypothetically, let's say in a business or whatever, somehow or another, I'm not able to fulfill my obligation. I immediately go back to the other party, explain why I'm not going to fulfill it at this particular time that we agreed on, and here's what I'm doing to rectify it. Again, being solution oriented. I think that's another attribute, in this kind of, and I guess here in Babylon, we all suffer from trauma. This is a traumatic culture. It's a fear-based society. So everyone deals with trauma to some level of degree. But I don't know if I put it on trauma because it's kind of a blanket statement. I think it's just more of whatever your circumstance was in life. I don't want to put it, because trauma makes it seem like you can't overcome it or it was so detrimental. And it might have been at the time, but that don't have to define you moving forward. I learned the ability to let go of my past and an old identity and the leverage, knowing that there's no temptation that would drive me back because it don't benefit the business of the toothless wonder. And like, let's say 50 Cent, right? I heard stories about, he had a buzz, in the music game and so on and so forth. And I guess at that point in time, he had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But he didn't sign no record deal till the deal was conducive to him. He didn't just jump at any opportunity because he knew his worth. And a lot of times we don't know our worth because we're tying our worth into, again, superficiality or social status or things of that nature. Your self-worth has to come from you. You have to value you. And if you value you truly, whatever you have to do or whatever, you must embark on to build that up, whether it's upgrading a skill set, whatever you're deficient in, studying how to get better in that place, it will then make you more confident. And then if you're more confident, you're not just going to settle or go for any old thing because you've put in the work. That's like, just like these guys who kind of like perpetrate a fraud or act like da-da-da, but it's not really in them. They're just acting. Anybody who's been, let's say, I don't know, the military guy. You don't know he's been in the military, but he doesn't go around like boasting. He just knows he has the training to do whatever if you try it. See, true confidence, I believe, isn't loud and boisterous. It's actually quiet. Was Master Sensei, was Bruce Lee, were they boisterous and over the top and hyper masculine? No, they were quiet, calm, collected, stoic. These are all traits that I come to understand along my journey that I needed. I thought being impulsive, and now mind you, I do take calculated risks, but it's not out of emotion. And again, I take calculated risks because I have the confidence that today, if this don't work, I can still hold up. I can hold up in any situation I find myself in. Granted, certain stuff I don't want to have, but let's say I do, it's not the end of the world. One, I have no ego or image to maintain, so it's not like I'm fighting to keep up appearances. And two, all the things that have made me to this point have been honed in hardship. So the hardship had a purpose. It wasn't just random. And the word speaks of all things work for those who love Yah and are called according to his purpose. Now, because of my hardship, the word is more alive to me. Now I understand when it says, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord. Now I get it. Now I see why the world is the way it is. Now I see why certain temptations that used to trip me up were actually fool's gold and have lost all desire or appeal for such. Now I actually do want to walk righteous because I never want to be like everybody else. There's a certain leverage in that of not bending to the world, of not getting jabbed up and not knowing what you're going to do, but I ain't doing that. Similar to, what's that, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. We're not, okay, you're going to put us in the furnace, We can't do that. That's what you ask. And the Lord we serve is able to deliver us from this. But here's the part that moved me. We're saying even if we don't, we still ain't doing that. Woo! That's fire right there, ain't it? And that's the type of masculinity I think that is needed in this time, because evil only prevails when good men do nothing. Now we see all these folk. Granted, I guess their plants are sold out. But even in my like personal life or just people I personally know through however I know them, everybody, and I'll be pulling them to the side sometimes, like, yo, stop all that pandering, yo. That's not gonna get you what you want. You said everybody pandering. Everyone's when we all out here struggling, but everybody on flex time. You see what I'm saying? Um, it's I get it, but because of where I'm at with it now, part of me doesn't understand. What do you think? And well, here it is. You know, my thinking used to be short-sighted. You know, just for the day or whatever will benefit me the next 15 minutes. Here's another thing that Leverage taught me: how to play the long game, how to wait. I don't like waiting, but what else am I gonna do? The waiting produces stuff you don't even know you need, such as endurance, such as, you know, the ability to trust, almost quote unquote forcing you to have faith. If this don't work, I'm done. But granted, I done had about 3,000 near-death experiences. If none of that stuff dropped me that I was dead wrong and put my hand to, why would he do all this, invest all this internally in my spirit? And then I think a bill or some people not liking me or a job is going to be the thing to break the camel back. But that's how the adversary works. He be trying to get you off the focus of the Most High. When you truly believe and see, well, for me, I'll speak for myself, all the things he done saved me from when I was dead wrong. Man, the adversary had me dead to rights a couple times. I literally, for all intents and purposes, had been resurrected before when I broke my neck. And them ambulance people said I had no vital signs. I think he just did that to show them, you know what I mean? And then my, you know, subsequent recovery, reminiscent of Wolverine from the X-Men, and I still wasn't living right. I still was fighting to get back to an old lifestyle. I still was ungrateful. You know what I mean? I was all depressed, victimhood and all that. And then he started slowly chipping away at all that. He started showing me. I guess he couldn't do it all at one time because my head probably would have exploded. So I said, God, I mean, and granted, before all that, I knew I had some issues, you know, things to work on. But I figured I got time until I found myself in a situation where I may not see the next day. And then, true story, I closed my eyes and I said, God, I ain't giving no long, drawn-out prayer about I'm going to do better. And God probably wasn't. I kept it real. Got me. This is it. Lord, it's up to you. And I closed my eyes. And when I woke up, yes, sir, it's on now, baby. Here come the rain and the pain. Here come the chastisement. For, depending on how I categorize it when I start counting, for over a decade. But now, and I'm mindful not to get into ego or to take credit for something the Most High did. But now, can't nobody tell me nothing other than the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer if you're actually looking for the truth, you should know the truth when you hear it. That's why, along as I've gravitated to certain content that I didn't even know existed. Whether it was the title of the you know, the title or of the video or however they put it together, and check it out. That's when I started understanding certain things and gave me insight on things I've been through and the purpose thereof. Everything got a purpose. There's a purpose. There's a reason why them people left you or betrayed you. There's a reason why, you know, you didn't get the job. There's a reason you did get the job. You see what I'm saying? So now, when I do get stuff, I tend to be a better steward of such because I'm used to not having. So then when you get it, you're grateful for it. It's almost like, you know, let's say I get a halfway decent woman from, you know, being here in Babylon where I see rampant harlotry. I'll be a better steward of the situation, while still at the same time back to maintaining my level. Yeah, I can be, you know, quote unquote, I got game as far as in putting a smile on your face, make you feel special. Cause I want everybody around me to feel special. You know what I'm saying? I'm special. So you got to be special you around me, unless you flip mode squad or something later on down the line. But while still maintaining the mission and the priority of such, which I technically don't know exactly what that is, but I had no choice but to wait till it's revealed. What else I'm gonna do? Just take this or take that? Anything that mess with my time or my harmoniousness, I don't care what it is and what they offer. And I've been tempted as such and played around with it in my mind. But my spirit like, nah. Or my spirit will just get aggravated. Like, nah, I don't want to fool them people. And I have no intellectual or logical reason why. But here it is. It might not seem whatever. But my spirit like, yo, do that, yo. But what about this? And this might happen and that might happen. My spirit like, do that. I guess that's because I'm kind of new to that whole attempt to be led by the spirit and what that means in application. But I'm guessing that's what it is. If not, somebody help me because, I'm out here trying to learn too. That's another thing. I become addicted to learning and adapting. Because new information that's credible, you'll have to adapt by default to disregard an old mindset or old way of thinking that you see now with the new information no longer serves. Like most stuff here in Babylon. I won't fool with it. And I feel great and I've built leverage in not fooling with stuff because it can't sink its fangs into me. And then I gotta rip it out and take a piece of me with it. No. Plus I've been through 1,000 situations like that, so I know the detriment of such. I'm not just jumping at any opportunity. I'm just not jumping at any old sales pitch or hind pots, you know what I'm saying? Or social grouping or potential finance that would make me have to drop some principle I hold, because it might make it easier in the interim or the short term. But all that easy stuff, like and I know this personally, taking the easy way out actually sets you up for a longer road. Instead of just taking the hard road, and then because you've been walking uphill, it builds your cardio up, and you're just in better shape. You know what I mean? So now, because you're in better shape, you don't necessarily care about the terrain, because you built up the strength and the cardio to handle it, so you can walk it effectively, if I can tie that in. But this is just a quick one on, I believe, a man's necessity, especially in today's time, as they probably begin to roll more impositions out and so on and so forth. And it seems like people are fighting to get plots into the system or the new restructuring thereof. You gotta trust, man. If you'd have made it this far and you're starting to learn, grow, and evolve, just keep it going. And on that note, I'ma holler at y'all. Ooh, ah.